Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Trevor Widger.
And I'm Robert Ortega Jr.
Getting ready for graduation is exciting. It can also be super stressful. So we just want to remind you, counseling and mental health services are free for all Fresno State students. It's important to remember that you don't have to deal with the anxiety alone. So if you're feeling like you're on the verge of a breakdown, visit the Fresno State website and book an appointment with a counselor.
We graduates are focused on graduation and are thrilled we'll be having a ceremony this year. People are getting ready. This will be the 8th year for Fresno State's Rainbow Graduation Celebration. The virtual ceremony is May 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. It will celebrate the achievements of LGBTQ+ graduates. The free event includes rainbow tassels and stoles for graduates. To RSVP, head to the Cross Cultural and Gender Center's Instagram page for direct links to register. Students are also customizing their graduation caps. Graduates are creating lifetime souvenirs. Small businesses are hand-making decorations. Paulina Creates and Sticky Decal are two companies helping grads create a one-of-a-kind cap. Many have been putting quotes and special dedications to loved ones. Be sure to take a look at all the grads sharing a bit more about their college journey through their customized caps.
From grad caps to the stadium where we'll be tossing them in the air. Let's find out a bit more about graduation plans with Tasha Turner. Tasha?
I'm here at the football stadium where commencement is going to be held. And I'm also here with Dr. Colin Stewart. Commencement is usually held at the Save Mart Center. Is this the first time that commencement has ever been held at the stadium?
It actually has not. About 15 years ago is when we held commencement ceremonies here at Bulldog Stadium.
Wow, that's interesting. So with stilettos, why are we not allowed to wear them?
So yes, a lot of folks want to wear those stilettos or pointy shoes. Unfortunately, because this is brand new turf here at the stadium, if you wear essentially pointy heels, then it would essentially damage the turf. And we obviously want to keep the turf nice and neat for our football games in the fall, and so that's why we can't wear stilettos because it would damage the turf. But we recommend flats or wedges, nothing that could puncture the ground that we're standing on currently.
I mean, I wasn't going to wear stilettos anyway, but that's good to know. So for the last couple questions, what exactly are you going to be doing to set up for graduation?
So behind us will be the seating section, which will all face the north side of the field, and at the north side will be the stage, which is where the platform party will set. We'll start loading in on Monday to get everything prepared for all of the students.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's all the time we have. Thank you so much. At the football stadium, I'm Tasha Turner with Fresno State Focus.
Combining work and school can be challenging at times, but there are ways to stay on top of both schedules. Most people who work while attending college strive to find a balance in their lives. Both are big commitments, but with a little focus and planning, you can manage the one as well as the other.
Combining my school and work schedule can be pretty tough, but I do so by keeping a detailed calendar as well as a notebook with all of my assignments and also my work schedule in it, just to make my life a lot easier and not so hectic.
Although it may seem overwhelming at times,
now that COVID restrictions are easing, people are starting to travel again. That's why Fresno State's on-campus passport office is officially back open, but by appointment only. The office is open Monday through Friday and is located in room 140 of the Kremen Education Building.
If you're still looking for units and experience in your major, then now could be a great time to set up an internship. To search for internship opportunities, head to your Fresno State portal, select Campus Systems, then click on the Hire Fresno State icon. For further help or questions, call the Career Development Center.
Now let's look ahead to the fall semester. Students will be required to have their COVID vaccines before coming on campus. This quiet campus will be coming back to life again. The requirement will go into effect for the fall 2021 term. Once the FDA approves the vaccine, students must get it just like other vaccines that are required: measles, chickenpox, and TB. The university will consider waivers for people who don't get vaccinated for religious or health reasons.
We're all thrilled to get back to campus this fall, but it's essential to know some safety tips when coming back for in-person classes. Here are some recommendations. Have an extra mask in your bag and your own hand sanitizer. Maintain 6 feet distance in hallways and classrooms. And remember, it's always your right to remind others to wear their mask properly.
The dorms will also be opening up more fully. Carissa King shows us how they're preparing.
The dorms at Fresno State are much quieter than normal this year, but Fresno State Student Housing is excited to have students back on campus for the fall 2021 semester.
We've had students with us this whole year through the pandemic, and a lot of the preparations that we're doing for fall of 21 are the same things that we've been doing all year long with our students to keep them safe.
Fresno State dining locations have operated in accordance with the Fresno County COVID-19 guidelines. This has specific protocols to address unique physical distancing and cleaning sanitation guidelines within the operation.
Our students will be able to choose between having a single room and a double room because we want them to have the comfort level of where they're at coming back onto campus. But we will follow anything that the county health lets us know that we need to follow. And so that's where some of the things are still up in the air.
Students will find out their rooming assignments come July. Many freshmen are looking forward to getting to be on campus and meeting new people.
I do want that traditional college experience and want to be able to meet new people, get exposed to what that's traditionally like rather than isolating myself in off-campus living and maybe losing some of those social connections or interactions. So
for more information about Fresno State Student Housing, you can visit fresnostatestudenthousing.org. As you can see behind me, the student dorms are a lot quieter than normal. We cannot wait for students to be back on campus and all the hustle and bustle be back at the dorms.
Move-in day for the dorms is Thursday, August 19th. The first day of classes is Monday, August 23rd.
The Student Recreation Center will look different after being closed for over a year. You'll notice a few welcome upgrades. Some equipment was over 15 years old. The ASI was able to get new barbells and hand weights. Most of the equipment in the rec center will also be reupholstered come this fall.
Our senator came by and asked, what were some things that, maybe ASI could help out with. And so I said, well, some of these things are getting pretty gnarly looking and pretty worn out. So, if you wanted to maybe help us replace those, that'd be a good for everybody.
The rec center is expected to open back up at the same time as the rest of campus.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we'll look at how a man's barber business survived through the pandemic shutdown. Plus, we'll take a look on how the pandemic is opening new doors and opportunities for some people.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
The Community Media Access Collaborative has been working remotely all year to provide Fresno with local TV programs, including our student newscast. I took a closer look to see how they've managed to pull it off.
Welcome back to another CMAC tutorial.
While COVID-19 has made most things more difficult this past year, television broadcasting is a unique challenge. It's exactly the challenge that CMAC has managed to take on.
It was, a big, oh no, how do we do this? But through many Zoom calls and virtual meetings, we were able to put together a game plan.
Normally, CMAC operates out of the historic Fresno B building. The organization offers training workshops in addition to programming its 3 TV channels. While the doors are still closed for in-person meetings, CMAC has made it possible for anyone with a laptop and a Zoom account to still learn key things about broadcasting, media literacy, and more. Despite the challenges, CMAC members found a silver lining with the online meetings.
We've been able to expand our reach since moving to virtual workshops and tutorials. We've been getting feedback and participants from outside of the Central Valley.
For some, being in front of the cameras has also been a pretty rough time.
Actually been pretty awful. I hate having to do the show remotely. I'm not particularly good at the technical stuff. I need to have a lighting designer come in and help me.
While it hasn't been easy, he's grateful CMAC was able to make it possible.
I am always impressed with CMAC. I'm always impressed with how much they're able to do with what they're given, and this is the case again with the pandemic.
CMAC is now resuming some of their facility reservations on Tuesdays and Saturdays. They'll slowly offer more based on ongoing safety guidelines.
As students have had more time at home this year, more families are getting pets. These two elementary children decided instead of a usual pet like a dog or a cat, they wanted chickens. They dress up these chickens and even occasionally let them lay eggs in the house. They have 7 chickens, including a rooster that makes for a handy alarm clock.
And when it's Zoom day, he always wakes us up for Zoom. No, instead of Mom. And when my chicken grows up, he's going to be a rooster, and he's going to grow, and he's going to be in love.
As they have time at home, the girls continue to learn how to raise their chickens.
Due to the pandemic, many people found themselves going several months without a haircut. Gio Alvarado introduces us to a barber who temporarily closed his doors, but is now happy to be back in business.
This is the sound of happiness for Carlos Medina, and has been for 30 years, but that changed with the pandemic. He was forced to close 3 times.
I had three other barbers working with me ever since this happened.
Now those chairs remain empty, but Medina took it upon himself to stay open even with a few customers.
I live in a neighborhood right here on the north side that I've known these people for over 30 years.
What happens in these chairs goes well beyond haircuts.
So we talk a lot of positive things about the games, about the family and the things that we want to do. Like this gentleman was talking about going fishing.
Now that Tulare County has lifted some restriction, customers are able to come in, wait their turn, or if there's no one here, get a haircut.
I had to stay the lowest possible in my prices. They're $20.
Medina had to raise his prices from $12 to $20 in order to make some adjustments.
But, you know, I had to pay all my expenses that the state is making me clean up this place.
Medina now only has one goal after the pandemic is over.
Maybe I can fill up the chairs again.
In Visalia, Gio Alvarado, Fresno State Focus.
Medina also had to make some adjustments to his schedule due to health issues, but he plans to keep working and connecting with his community for as long as he can.
The pandemic has been tough on everyone, but the time away from work or school has given some people unexpected opportunities. Wyatt Babb tells us how some people were able to turn their time off into time well spent.
It's been over a year since the world was put on hold. A year full of loss, struggle, and uncertainty for a lot of people. But with every tragedy comes opportunity, a silver lining. The Knowles household wasted no time finding their silver lining.
It feels really good. I honestly never thought that I could get to this point.
Caitlin Knowles, a full-time worker and mother, couldn't find enough time to be able to finish college before the pandemic. But the lockdown gave her a new chance. Now, just a few weeks from getting her degree, Knowles has accomplished something normal life wouldn't have had the time for.
Everything that happened with Corona and everything being online, it kind of just said, hey, here you go, everything's online, here's all your time.
Before COVID, Caitlin's sister Corinne would be next door, probably on the phone with her long-distance boyfriend. But the pandemic would open up new doors for Corinne in her relationship. She was able to move across the country with her boyfriend without putting her life on hold.
Now that school's online and my job allows for transfers, I was able to move clear across country while also continuing going to school and pursuing a career.
Corinne is also about to graduate from Fresno State from the comfort of her new home. The COVID-19 pandemic has not been easy, but even in a global lockdown, there's always a silver lining.
It's definitely been a really hard time, but you know, everything going online, it really truly has been a blessing in disguise.
For Fresno State Focus, I'm Wyatt Babb.
The Knoll sisters both have big plans after graduation. Corinne is looking to work as a kindergarten teacher, and Caitlin plans to apply to Fresno State.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we have some updates on our Fresno State sports teams, and we'll take a look at the success some of our alumni is having in the world of professional sports.
And I'm trying to hide Thursday and Friday's forecast from you because, well, the weather's changing. Stick around and we'll be back with your focus on weather.
Here in the valley, our colors are blue and our waves are red. Bulldog born and bulldog bred. Generations linked forever by traditions that have stood the test of time. Inside our stadiums, we are one. This is our valley, and this year, we're doing it for you.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Good afternoon, I'm Brooke Chow, and it's now time for your focus on weather. As you can see behind me, the Henry Madden Library, which is now open at limited capacity for students, has some blue skies and just a little bit of wind, as you can see up here in the trees. For your nationwide satellite, we do see some green indicating rain in the south central to the Midwest, but not to worry here in California. We are experiencing clear and sunny skies and definitely some warmer weather ahead. Fresno's high today is 84 and the whole Central Valley will remain in the 80s. However, if you are planning on heading up to Shaver Lake later today, there is a 20-degree temperature decrease and it's the high of 64. Speaking of colder weather, Fresno will be 55 tonight, and again, if you are thinking about heading up to the Oakhurst and Shaver Lake area, it will be in the 40s. For your focus on air quality, the North Central Valley counties are in the good tier. However, Kings, Tulare, and Kern County are experiencing some moderate air quality today. For your extended outlook, Fresno will be in the 80s today, and again, we are experiencing some 90-degree weather tomorrow and Friday, but not to worry, you have an absolutely beautiful weekend forecast ahead in the 80s, which is an absolutely perfect opportunity for you to get outside and get some extra studying done before finals, and definitely enjoy this cooler weather before the valley heat hits Fresno. And that's your focus on weather.
The big leagues has quite a few Bulldogs bringing crowds to their feet. Aaron Judge and Paul George are both in the...
For the LA Clippers, George 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Clovis Rodeo for 2021 is Carissa King.
Hi, I'm Tony Gurieva, and this is your Focus on Sports. The softball team swept doubleheader over Nevada on Saturday and held a 2-0 win on Sunday, closing the series with a 13th win of the season. Men's tennis took over on Ventura College in doubleheader on Friday and held a 4-0 win over Nevada on Saturday. The baseball opened a 3-day series against San Jose State with a 5-4 loss on Friday, but swept both ends of a doubleheader on Saturday and held on for an 8-7 win on Sunday. And now it is time to talk about football. Here with me, Kevin Atkins, a defensive tackle for Fresno State football team. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So I know that the upcoming season is going to have a regular schedule. You're going to have fans back on the stands. Are you guys excited? How's the atmosphere within the team?
Yeah, we're fired up, you know. Coming together as a team, coming off a COVID season, you know, there's a lot of
things that went wrong or went good, but ultimately it brought us closer together. So with having fans back, we're just fired up and excited to see you guys in the stands and cheering for us again.
Well, we're all super excited and can't wait to cheer for you. So what are some expectations and goals for next season?
Well, our main goal never changes. We want to be the number one. We want to win the Mountain West Championship, have the number one offense, number one defense, number one special teams. And, you know, we're excited to show you guys what we've been working towards.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that. It was Kevin Atkins, the defensive tackle from Fresno State football team. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
That was our glimpse at what's going to be happening at the Bulldog Stadium. But how about our alumni who have gone pro? Robert Ortega Jr. is going to give us an update on our Bulldogs.
Thanks, Tanya. Now it's time to take a look at the Bulldogs who are bringing crowds to their feet in the big leagues. Aaron Judge returned for his 6th season with the Yankees this year. Because of potential injury concerns, he'll have limited playing time this season. It's season 11 in the NBA for Paul George, who is set for another playoff run in his 2nd year with the Clippers this season. In the NFL, Raiders QB Derek Carr, Packers wide receiver Devontae Adams, and Rams safety Juju Hughes look to return to the field at the start of the season in September. And that's your Focus on Sports.
Fresno State Focus is full of young journalists, weathercasters, and even rodeo queens.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Globus Rodeo for 2021 is Carissa King.
Our very own Carissa King was crowned Miss Clovis Rodeo. Her award kicked off this year's event in downtown Clovis. Carissa will travel across California and surrounding states to represent the Clovis Rodeo. Congratulations, Carissa. After the coronation, Carissa put her reporter hat back on. Here she shows us more of the fun that was had at the Clovis Rodeo grounds this weekend.
The 107th Clovis Rodeo was this past weekend. It came together in just about 35 days. There were some big hurdles, but they were overcome.
For us to do this. And it took a lot of coordination between the county health department, the board of supervisors, the state, the city of Clovis. I mean, everybody went to bat for us to try to get this done, to meet all the rules, to be able to put this on, you know. So.
Yeah. With over 500 cowboys and cowgirls entered this year, there was $25,000 added to each event.
I think by keeping our rodeo current and adding the money that we need to draw the top cowboys, it really helps us put on a top-notch show. You know, we've always said that the Clovis Rodeo is kind of a mini NFR because we have the top stock and we're able to attract the top cowboys.
I was really chomping at the bit. I was excited because this is my first year at my hometown rodeo. There was a lot of pent up energy for me, especially.
Clovis Rodeo Queen, this is Carissa King. She is currently a senior at California State University, Fresno, majoring in media communication and journalism with an emphasis on broadcasting.
In
She'd like to thank the
your
committee members
2021
and
Miss
volunteers for
Clovis
everything.
Rodeo, Carissa King with Fresno State Focus.
Next year's rodeo is expected to be back to normal. As always, it's scheduled to take place during the last week of April.
To most people, Fresno State is a place of higher learning, but to many others, it's a Pokemon hotspot. With the rising popularity of Pokemon cards and culture, people of all ages are flocking to Fresno State to play Pokemon Go, a popular phone app that came out in 2016. The game requires players to walk and find digital Pokemon scattered across many familiar places around the campus.
It helps me get active throughout the pandemic. They also added something where you could like be remote and still interact with people just in case, you know? So they still added a feature that makes it social without being in person.
If you're looking to get active in the Fresno Pokemon Go community, check them out at their Facebook page.
With Tulare County now in the orange tier, people are slowly returning to their regular routines. Georgette Garcia shows us how thrifting is also getting back to a bit of normal.
People are happy to be getting back to their hobbies. An event in Porterville called Thrift of the Trap allowed vendors to sell unique used clothing. Vendors have been waiting for gatherings like this to be allowed again.
I prefer buying and selling
vintage in person. So I like to look at the stuff. I like to, like, every shirt has its own feel, its own, like, different, it can be faded and worn a different amount. Like, sizes are really different on vintage stuff.
Other vendors do it to be mindful of their carbon footprint.
Well, I do it because I like to help the environment and like keep clothes out of landfills and stuff. I know it doesn't like make like a huge like impact, but any kind of impact like matters.
Many people just enjoy being able to find unique, rare pieces of clothing compared to regular shopping.
These are one-of-a-kind pieces that people actually go to the thrift stores that go to different events to actually like find these things.
Thrift stores were considered non-essential clothing stores that shut down immediately in the beginning of COVID, but have been allowed open within these past months. Thrifting is a great way to find unique fashion items that you can see in person. However, there are plenty of websites and apps that can help you sell your used clothing and make some extra cash. Georgette Garcia, Fresno State Focus.
In addition to thrifting, there are a variety of events starting back up downtown. Keep a lookout online for the latest information on how you and your family can have a fun afternoon.
Movie theaters have opened back up, which means you can go grab some popcorn and watch the latest movies. Here are some things you need to know before you go. The movie experience will be slightly different starting when you buy your tickets. It is recommended that you buy your tickets online ahead of time. Masks are required at all times except when eating.
Now let's meet the last three of your Fresno State Focus news team. Gio Alvarado is a graduating senior. When he isn't at school or working, he's usually spending time with his family, playing with his dog, or even stargazing with his telescope. His passion for journalism started in high school.
I remember I was walking with my sisters to school, and then we were stopped at the gate because there was a bomb threat. Once I found out that, I was asking the teacher, what's going on, and he's like, oh, there's a bomb threat. So then in my head, I was like, oh, what's going on? What's going to happen to the students? And there was a rush of adrenaline through my body, like, I want to know more.
After graduation, Gio hopes to find a job as a weather forecaster.
Cassidy Lopez is a broadcast journalism major. She has a passion for radio, but also found an interest in broadcast news producing. When Cassidy isn't on air, she enjoys traveling, going to concerts, and watching baseball games from the stands of Dodger Stadium.
Graduating this year is just a really happy, sad feeling. Everybody I've met has been awesome. All the professors I've had have really opened my eyes, and I'm just really excited to see what's next for me. But I'm really sad that, this is it.
After graduation this May, Cassidy hopes to find a job outside the Central Valley as a radio host or a news producer.
Tasha Turner is also a graduating senior. Tasha started her college journey in print journalism. After taking a news video production class, she switched to broadcast journalism. Right now, she's interning with One Putt Broadcasting and hopes it can help further her career in journalism. This major has helped her to come out of her shell.
I don't think anyone expected me to be graduating with a bachelor's in broadcast and journalism, because in high school I was just such a quiet kid. But taking these journalism classes really changed me as a person, and I'm just happy at where I am, and I can definitely say that I'm going to enjoy what I do for the rest of my life.
Her main hobby outside of school is playing video games with her boyfriend and long-distance friends. Places are opening back up. Enjoy it, but remember to stay safe.
And it's getting sunnier out there, so remember to layer on that sunscreen, Trevor.
You know I've already got it on me.
We will see you next week with our final Fresno State Focus newscast of the spring semester.